Welcome back to Quiet Money Podcast, the number one show for going through the ups and downs of life. Stay tuned. We're coming up next. What's up? Welcome back to another episode of Quiet Money Podcast. I'm your host, Dex. Quiet Money Podcast, the number one show for going through the ups and downs of life. I got my co-host with me as always. Beautiful wife. What's up with you, man?
Hello there.
How you doing?
I'm Randi, the co-host of Quiet Money Podcast.
How you doing this morning? You good?
I'm good.
You good?
I'm good.
You look good.
Thank you.
For real.
How are you doing this morning?
I'm up and down. You know what I'm saying? I'm up and down, but I'm more up this morning after talking to you. You know what I mean? You got me on my right path this morning. You know what I'm saying?
I'm glad.
You did. You know what I'm saying? But anybody who ain't joined our show, as always, number one show for getting through the ups and downs of life. And what we talk about is a little bit of everything because we touch on everything. We do everything together. You know what I'm saying? And in life, sometimes you got ups, sometimes you got downs. A lot of times it could be more downs than ups, more ups than downs. You just never know. You know what I'm saying? But life will put you through it. You know what I mean? You just got to keep going and keep going. Nah. You got me up this morning, even though my morning started a little bit down, because you gave me some good advice, which I forgot. You know what I'm saying? But it was just reminding me of remember what I'm been through and where I'm being. You know what I mean? Remember the full journey. So I appreciate you for that because you had these moments where you want something to work, it's not working. You're in your little down moment, you're pushing, you're trying this, you're trying that, it's not giving you a different result. You're getting frustrated, the doubt starts creeping in, the human feelings start creeping in, like maybe this isn't it, maybe I need a change, maybe. And then you're like, yo, just chill. You know what I'm saying? Just think about the whole thing and what you've done and what you've accomplished. You know what I'm saying? And look at it for what it is, which is that dawn moment where you got to keep working to go back up. You know what I'm saying? So when I look back and I'm like, look at all the things I've did in my life, how far I've come. You know what I'm saying? Years ago, I wasn't even doing half of the things that I'm doing now. So let's remember that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think that most of us don't take the time to look back.
Nah.
And we focus on how we're not good enough. We're not meeting the standard. We're not reaching the bar. But you really got to take time and look back and think about what you have done. Because you can get caught all up in what you haven't done. And it happens to me all the time. So, yeah. You got to take every thought captive. All right.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? Because while you're sitting there and you're like, yo, I'm trying this business. I'm trying this thing at work. I'm trying this thing in my relationship. It ain't working. It was a time where you was all alone and you didn't have no relationship. You know what I'm saying? It was a time that you was at home wondering what it would be like to watch that favorite Netflix series with somebody. But now, years later, you got somebody and now there's something new that's happening. You guys are arguing about something, whatever, but you can't forget everything because we said it before, but there's things that you need out of your life that you be praying for, then all of a sudden they become things that are like the new challenge, the new thing to feel bad about. But you could be living right in your dreams, right in your things that you ask for. You know what I'm saying? You just got to keep the right mindset on it. So I appreciate that, you know what I'm saying? Because I've been going through some struggles from physical fitness to my business, to my own job, to coaching, to all different aspects of things.
Yeah, you've been hit a little hard.
I've been hit hard
lately.
In the theme of questioning, do I got it? Is your answer the right answer? Are you thinking about the right things? Are you doing the right things? Everything challenging everything that I love. And it's kind of been a lot of it at the same time, and not bad things or whatever, but just little things to make you doubt. And it's been touching everything recently. You know what I'm saying? And I realized that you go to work, you're doing a great job for some reason, you're not hit certain dates, you're wondering why. You've been sitting there spending 20 hours on something, think you did a great job, then all of a sudden the smallest mistake takes away from you. You know what I'm saying? You've been sitting there pouring into, your team or whatever, and you had some tough games and y'all lost them in the second half. You know what I'm saying? You've been pouring into trying to be better at business, but then you get reminded of certain clients of different things you didn't do well, things you didn't price well. You know what I'm saying? You implement a new software with your honey. You're excited about that, but before you know it, you're arguing about something related to it. You see what I'm saying? It's been all these different things happening. Cut like to bring like self-doubt and questions of yourself. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And it's just, you got to realize when that season is happening. I think it's been a recent season, and I know it's happening because I'm doing so much. We'll hit the year off, right? Full speed of like, let's do things. Let's be better. You're on your health and you're trying to cook more. I see it. Cooking all different recipes and things that I didn't expect you to do. You know what I'm saying? We've been sitting there trying to get our business better. Right away, implementing new things. You know what I'm saying? Like, of course, this is going to be the time where somebody's going to come in and be like, you sure you as good as you think you are?
Right.
You sure about that? You know what I'm saying? No. I'm going to put a little salt on your parade. You know what I'm saying? But we're not going to let that happen. You know what I mean? So anybody that's listening, before we even kick the show off, like, give yourself a pat on the back today. You know what I'm saying? Show yourself some love today. You know what I'm saying? Look at every single problem that you're dealing with, everything that you're not confident in, and just kind of look back and be thankful for where you're at. You know what I'm saying? Then you can put the right perspective on what's happening today, because unfortunately, it's going to be more things happening tomorrow that you don't even see coming. You know what I'm saying? So you can't look at things too big, and you also can't look at them too small. You know what I'm saying?
And let me add this too. When you are looking at your problems and when you're going through things, it is developing you and it's shaping you. So
for sure.
Nah, with how you gonna react the next time?
That's what I'm saying.
Something like this happens.
Because that's life, you know what I mean? And a lot of people, like, the truth is, like, you know, tap in with us, but like, are you even really built for life? You know what I'm saying? Because life ain't always what you see. It ain't always bells and whistles. It ain't always people dressing in nice clothes and going to nice places and things you see on social media. Life will knock you up, down, left, right. It will make you feel like you got something and then take it away from you. And then you could be out there feeling like you don't have anything, and then before you know it, you get the biggest blessing in the world. You know what I'm saying? You could have your amazing wife, amazing family, amazing job, and just like that, it could be gone. You know what I'm saying? We was talking about, you was telling me about the tornado thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I don't want to misquote it, but you were saying about this lady or whatever that like lost like a lot of her family members and stuff.
Yeah, her husband, her children.
All in a tornado.
All in a tornado.
So just like that, freak of nature or something that doesn't happen super frequently. You know what I'm saying? Some areas more than others, obviously, you know what I mean, geographically. But just like that, you could wake up and your whole existence be taken away within probably seconds. You got what I'm saying? Like, just like that, there's somebody that goes out with their family in a car going to that same restaurant that they always go to on Sunday mornings. They didn't make it that morning. Just like that, your whole existence could just be changed. And you don't even have no control of it, even though you think you do. So these things that are happening that we do have some control over or whatever, we can't go too far with them. We got to be thankful for life. You know what I'm saying? We got to celebrate life, celebrate each other, celebrate the good times and the bad times. You know what I'm saying? And realize that even though it feels like you're not built for what you're going through, you are built to go through. It's a blessing to go through it. You feel me? It's a blessing to go through the ups and downs and challenges of life that's been given to you. You know what I mean? It's a blessing. We got to keep looking at it like that. You know what I mean? So thank you for that. Nah, last time we poured it, before I even go on my tangent, last time we poured it, we gonna chop this up. We was talking about this concept that we did a couple years ago, right? Mm-hmm. Now, everybody, we gonna tap into a little financial big for a little while, but this should be very simple and plain for you. And I want to put this question out there in your mind for you to think about. Are you worth anything? What do you mean by that? Now, of course, you got worth in life. I'm not saying you're worthless. No, but like when it comes to finances and financial, like, are you actually worth anything? Now, Randy asked me this question a while back, and my first thought of it was completely wrong because I based it off of income. I based it off of the money I made. I based it off of like the jobs I've had and things. I've been making money with my grandpa and my daddy since I was like 12 years old. You know what I'm saying? But making money and being worth something is two different things. You know what I'm saying? So we did this thing called Are You Worth $1 on YouTube years ago.
And we opened up our finances.
We did. You know what I'm saying? Why did we do that? I want you, why did we do the Are You Worth $1? And where do you think we're at now? Give me background.
We did it. Well, from what I see is that we're two people working, both making six figures. And we had some debt. And I was in a place of questioning, like, is this all that there is, because I felt like it was just like money coming in, money going out, money coming in, money going out. Like that's kind of how I felt. So, and then we're two accountants. So we know a whole lot about finances and a whole lot about money. So I think talking to you about it, we sat down and wrote down income, expenses, all our savings accounts, like retirement, like all that stuff. We actually wrote it down. And then we wrote down all our debt.
Right.
And we saw that we weren't worth $1.
Not $1 bill.
Yeah.
We weren't worth that.
Yeah.
Do you think we're worth that now?
Yeah.
Beautiful. What did we change? Because we've been doing a lot. But what do you think what changed since then that makes us
I'd say something? That every month the only bills that we have really are like we don't have any debt. With the exception of the mortgage.
Right. We don't got any debt.
We don't have any debt.
I like how you said that. You're like, somebody's listening.
Right,
they got a house. Nah, chill on that. You know what I'm saying? But no.
Well, I actually have to be honest, because there is this one debt that keeps coming up.
Hey, so no, you know what? You want me to talk about that?
You go ahead.
You know what? Nah, let's talk about that. So, before we get back, we're going to get back to the Are You Worth a Dollar and tell you about that. But listen, the thing with that is, lesson learned for people is that there's decisions that you make in your life that could follow you through your life, and you got to make them right. Now, it's one that I made that I ain't made right yet. You know what I mean? So I'm going to give it some life. So for where I am today is not where I came from. So there was a period of time in my life years ago where I found myself without a job, without no money. I was back in Bermuda, going house to house, trying to figure out something to do in the day, wondering where I was going to get my shower at, where my food was at. And it was because I had made a lot of bad decisions over a short period of time. You know what I'm saying? So before you knew it, somebody who had internships with big accounting firms, somebody who had a really great job with big accounting firms, somebody that's made really good money, had their own apartment, their own place, their own car, wearing their own boot. You know what I mean? Going out Friday night, spending plenty of money, not even thinking about it because they know they got more money coming the next week. Somebody that's been flying away to different places, track girls, doing all types of stuff. All of a sudden, I'm back home with my parents, sleeping on the couch, not making no money, having my stepmama hit me in the head with pillows talking about what you're doing with your life. Just like that. You see what I'm saying? So anyway, during this period of time, I'm back in Bermuda, struggling, you know what I mean, not making no money. The only thing that I was able to do was get a charge card to a pharmacy. I'm not going to say the pharmacist's name because I still owe them a little couple dollars. So we're not going to say it. But if you know who you are, you know who you are. You know what I'm saying? And I know at least one person knows who they are. You know what I'm saying? We can leave her name out too. But look, so, you know, during the time, I was able to charge on this pharmacy card. So basically for like 2-3 months, everything I ate, drank, I bought from the pharmacy on this charge card until I ran it out. So I go there buying chips, buying toothpaste, buying this, swipe. That's in my mid-20s. Well, left Burma, never paid it off. Just left it. Came back to America, changed my whole life around. You know what I'm saying? Now here I am today with you, podcast, making great money, got a great career. You know what I'm saying? 2 businesses, kids, and the whole 9. But that one thing that I did back then hasn't been rectified. You know what I'm saying? Now, I should rectify it, even though there's no real benefits financially. But that's one thing that is a good reminder of where I've been. You see what I'm saying? And I say that because while you're in these low moments in your life and you're making certain decisions, like you can come out of it. You can, you know, turn things around. You can find yourself in a way better space than you ever was during those low moments. That's just a point in time. You know what I'm saying? I've been blessed to change things around, but sometimes there's things that are still there that can remind you of where you was at, or they can follow you along. You know what I'm saying? They could also be things that people have on you or hold on you. You know what I'm saying? Things that people might be able to say, hey, you're great, but you're not as great as you think you are because I got this. You see what I'm saying? So when you think about going through your low moments and stuff like that, and this person, they love me to death. This is, you know, I'm just giving you an example, but don't think that when you come out on the other side, the only thing that's waiting for you is balloons and cake and all types of celebrations. There's people and other, you know, there's people that were there during the tough times. You know what I'm saying? That can either celebrate you when you come out on top, or they can have that thing to hold on. You got to be okay with that. You know what I'm saying? Not everybody wants to celebrate you. Not everybody wants to see you be great. And not everyone's going to appreciate the new level of greatness you have if they know and seen the things that you've done in the past at your low moments. You know what I'm saying? But what does that mean? Don't really mean a whole lot. Because the truth is, if I want to correct it, I go correct it. If I want to go make it right for the things that I did in my 20s, I go make them right. And then I go forward in my life. Or not. You see what I'm saying? But it did happen. You know what I'm saying? Bad financial decisions. And that's definitely one I probably should rectify. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, your country's too small for that.
Too small for that. Yeah. But my point is, if you're listening to me like, you're like, yo, who's this guy, whatever. Like, let me tell you something, man. I'm somebody that has been through all avenues. All right. If I was going to a place down the street, I'm the person that went up the hill, round the corner, stopped at somebody's house, got a map, then didn't follow the map, followed the app, then went back home, tried it again, and finally got there. That's me. I didn't just get there. I definitely tried plenty times to say, Lord, you got this blessing in front of me. I'm going to mess it up. I got this skills. I got all of this smarts and intelligence, but I'm not going to put the work in. I'm not going to focus on things. That was definitely me. You know what I'm saying? I have the opportunity to hang around the right people to make this easier for me to be successful. Not me. I hang around the people that made it more challenging. I did that all the time. You know what I'm saying? And I've learned over time that it's nice to be cool. It's nice to be liked, but I made it hard for myself in a lot of instances. You know what I'm saying? And I've realized that, but it's okay. I'm fast forward in my life now. I have the appreciation of what it's like to have not just good friends and good people, but people that are good for my situation, people that are good for where I'm trying to go. That's the mistake that I made. And I think a lot of people make that mistake. You know what I'm saying? Is this person is somebody that I grew up with. This is somebody that I did XYZ with, played sports with, hung out with. They're a good person. They're a great person. They're a loyal person. That's all wonderful and true. They might have loved you long time from babies, but then you have to realize I'm trying to go to a certain spot in my life and I can't take this person. And that's okay. I'm going to have to leave them right here. You know what I'm saying? Adjust how we work together, communicate together, whatever, because I got somewhere to be. But a lot of us don't do that. You know what I mean? And I still struggle with that. But with that pharmacy card, we can make that right. That's definitely something that challenges me being worth $1 in Burnaby, for sure. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? But we can make that right. Now, being worth $1, wanted to get back on track, you was talking about we don't got no debt anymore. You know what I'm saying? That's one of the things you said. Now, when we first did the series, we did have debts. You know what I'm saying? We did have a really, really big car payment. You know what I'm saying? We did have some other debt, credit card, whatever. And we took money. It was very uncomfortable for me, but we took money and we could have traveled with it or whatever. But one year we was we can't pay a lot of debts off. You remember that? Mm-hmm. What do you think about that decision now? And what would you tell somebody that's out there? Let's make it realistic. You're out there, you're making $150,000. You know what I'm saying? You got good credit or not. You got a couple credit cards or whatever. You're making good money from your business, this, and that. But you was just like us. Money's coming in, money's going out. Money's coming in and going on that $400 car payment for the Tesla or $500 for the Tesla that you got. You know what I mean? Money's coming in and it's going on the credit cards because last vacation you went to Japan and you wanted to look fly in front of a whole bunch of Japanese people that don't even know you. Yes? This is not all true. You know what I'm saying? But yet, or you go back to Bermuda, you're like, I got to look fly again in front of all these people that I ain't seen for a year or 2 years or whatever, who ain't even seen the clothes that I've already got the last 2 years because they ain't even been in my life. But now let me go buy all new stuff, new sneakers, new trunks or whatever. They just can't get wet in the water. But what did this? Running up debts. And you helped me realize, if you're buying it and you don't have the money, you may not actually afford it. You can't really afford it. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? But what do you say to that person that's out there where we were at, but they're not actually worth $1 at all? What would you say? Do you tell them, hey, go get out of debt first? What advice do you have that person that's listening? Because you're the expert with the finance. No. You're the expert with it. I get the money, you help us keep it.
Everybody's situation is different.
Give me some
I would
general
just
stuff.
say that when you don't have any debt, a lot of your problems, a lot of your stress disappears.
Mm-hmm.
Like you don't even realize how stressful it is. Like you get paid and you know, you got the scheduled payment. So, okay, like our car note was like $600 something for the truck. And it's like you get paid, boom, a third of the check is gone. And I remember, I mean, you didn't ask me this, but I just remember once we paid everything off,
right,
I was anxious. I'm sitting here like, there's nothing coming out of the account except for, you know, this, like I said, mortgage and utilities, cable bills. Like that's not debt. Those are just regular bills. But then I realized like, wow, like you don't realize the amount of stress that you're under till those bills are gone. Seriously. So anybody who is in debt or feels overwhelmed or just feels like you don't know where your money is going, go look at the series.
Now,
about 3 years ago to Are You Worth $1? Now, I think that there's one thing that we should touch on that we don't really talk about, but once we got out of debt. Wait, did you have anything else you wanted to say?
No.
So I just wanted to say, once we got out of debt, we moved to pretty much one income. And there's a sacrifice with that.
Talk about that. Talk about that. Talk about the sacrifice with that. And also want to get your thoughts on teamwork when it comes to one income having to support everything. Because it sounds beautiful, but it was not easy for us for many reasons. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because the two incomes, right, it allows a certain lifestyle. It allows you to maintain the debt. So even though I don't even want to say we're doing things that we can't afford, we're just moving differently. But one income supports, you know, pretty much the day-to-day house payments and like the operating expenses, the groceries. Like this is kind of how I look at it. But then the other income can pay off, can pretty much pay the debt, right? So now once the debt is paid off, like it's great to have that other income.
For real.
Well, yeah. But I ended up leaving my job. But that's because COVID happened and I was home with the kids and it became a stressful situation. But we were blessed to be able to do that because we had paid off the debt. So that opens up doors.
Exactly. I want to stop right there though, because people need to hear how things connect. So when they hear from us and they know that we are actually people that can give you advice or whatever, some of the decisions that were made are great decisions that connect with each other. We had a dream to start Basing Accounting. We did that. It got to a certain level and it was not going to go any further unless somebody put more time, effort into that business. And you was able to do that a couple of years ago, and it has significantly changed and grown, right?
Yeah.
But we didn't just be able to sit there and be like, all right, well, Randy's unhappy. You know what I'm saying? Because you was.
Right.
So she could leave. And it also wasn't, oh, Dax is making so much money that he could just take care of everybody.
No, I wasn't like that.
It wasn't like that.
Yeah.
There was a prerequisite that was required, which was we had to be able to be in a position where we're already holding on to more of our money that's coming in. Getting out of debt helps with that. You might have not left your job if you still had that $500 car payment. You know what I'm saying? You might have not left your job if we had a bunch of credit cards that we still needed to pay for. You might have not left your job if 2 months before you left, we just took another trip and bought all these clothes on credit that we couldn't afford. You might have not did that. You see what I'm saying?
I know I wouldn't. Do you remember how I was crying?
I know.
All the turmoil.
So that's the power of not saying this is a conversation about debt, not credit building. Because people want to mix it and don't listen to us and think that we don't believe in the importance of credit, business credit. That's not it. But debt, a lot of times we mix it up like it's one and the same. And you're going to kind of helping me realize that it's different ways to go about it. You know what I'm saying? And buying things you can afford is what we mostly do. You know what I'm saying? Now, strategically buying things to build credit, we're not even going to go in that conversation right now. But it's literally, and not even just buying things you can afford, but not even getting the real experience that you could get out of it. You told me that as well. You know what I'm saying? But I'll hop on that in a second. I cut you off.
No, you were good because you were going somewhere.
No, but like, for example, all your money is going out the door. Comes in and goes out in a week or a month. A lot of times that whole month goes by and you haven't felt special at all. You've done nothing special for yourself. You done nothing luxurious for yourself. You did nothing memorable for yourself because, like your famous words, with the nickel and diamond, You know what I'm saying? Or you've been going to we not knocking nobody, but you're going to the McDonald's and all that. We got our McDonald's. We love McDonald's. You know what I'm saying?
McDonald's coffee.
Not food. Not food. But trash. Not trash.
Let me correct you real quick.
Coffee. You know what I'm saying? But what I'm saying is like that $100 that you could have took yourself to a pretty good restaurant or went on a date and felt good for an hour or two turned into 20 sandwiches that you was eating while you was driving in your car, going from one job to the next. It's the same money, but nowhere near the impact that it could have had on you. And you've been teaching me that too, of like, if you're going to spend money, spend it on a way that's worth it. You know what I'm saying? Spend it on a way where you're going to feel it. Like, do something special. Make it special. You know what I'm saying? Like, save that $20, $25. Go to the bar and get you a burger from the bar, sit down, watch the game, enjoy that. You know what I'm saying? Leave it $2 for $5 alone. That's not going to give you the same experience. So if you're going to spend the money, allow yourself to feel it. Allow it to recharge your soul, recharge yourself physically, mentally. Like, allow it to lift you up. But a lot of times the decisions we're making just brings us down as we're in this rat race of trying to make things meet. We're spending money here and there on this, and we don't even ever feel it. And we either end up with a whole bunch of stuff in our house that we don't use, a whole bunch of weight on our body that we don't need, a whole bunch of sickness in our body that we're trying to get rid of. And we've just been running this rat race, and you look back and it's like, man, how many times did I prioritize feeling good and making myself feel special and doing things that are special? You know what I'm saying? Special doesn't always mean super expensive, but special means making little decisions that's going to give you more of a reward in how that money was spent. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. And you know how you get there too?
Oh.
You got to learn how to say no. That's the key. We don't tell ourselves no enough.
No.
I want, I get.
But you know why? Because we don't know how to deal with the struggle and what it takes out of us to get that money. And I've learned that I'm like, we can't change this podcast to like me learning from you. Serious. But you know what I'm saying? But the truth is like, say you got a job. That job has been stressing you all week, right? That job, that boss has been on top of you all week. You're working hours that you wish you didn't have to work. You're working with teammates you wish you didn't have to work with. You're working on jobs and things that you wish you didn't have to do. Whatever the case, you're driving in traffic that you wish you didn't have to drive in to get there. It's all types of stuff that we're doing every week that we wish we could change, right? So what happens is when you get the money for going through that experience, you tell yourself you have the right to do certain things that you don't. That's the thing. And I'm king of that. I give you that. But I'm sure other people do it too, which is like, I could go buy what I want. It's my money. I earned it.
You know, I deserve it. I deserve it. For it. Yeah.
But you might have worked hard for it, but you also had to go through a hard life to get it. You had to go through a hard experience to get it. So now you want to reward yourself in a way that you can't really afford. You know what I'm saying? So look at what's really happening. Look at it from a financial view and not just a feelings view. This is how I feel. If I got paid, I'm about to go do X, Y, Z because I feel like I deserve it. But your finances tell you that you can't even afford that. You see, so it's two different conversations. Yes, I just made, $10,000 this month. That I feel like I should be able to do what I've got to do. That's great. While you made that $10,000, you dealt with that stressful boss. You dealt with that overtime. You dealt with that eating that sandwich in the car while you was in traffic. You dealt with the fact that your kids was in the back screaming at you to change it to their freaking rinky-dink song. You dealt with all of that. So now you got the money and it's like, oh yeah, I could go do my thing. But if you look at it like we look at it, which is, are you really worth $1? You'll take all their feelings aside and then look at the numbers and be like, well, it don't matter how I'm feeling right now. I can't even afford to go to this restaurant tonight. I can't afford those new clothes I'm about to put on that credit card. I can't afford to go out and blow $200 on liquor tonight because it's going to make me feel away. But that's what we do. So the race continues and it continues and it continues. You know what I'm saying? But it can. Are you worth $1 will really help you. So sit down. I'm going to let you break it down. But for somebody who is listening, they're like, all right, well, what do you mean? Like, how could you tell them to get started? And I know it's on our YouTube or whatever, but like, how would you tell somebody?
Oh yeah, our YouTube is between the spreadsheets with a Z. Spreadsheets.
Check that out. If you're wondering, you wonder what we recorded back then. But like, how do you tell somebody right now that's sitting there listening to you? They don't need a whole bunch of budgeting advice, charts, and all that. Like, simply they're sitting in the house and they feel like they make decent money or whatever, but they in a rat race right now. How do you tell them to get started? Like, what do we do to get started to see, like, what are you actually worth?
I think the first thing I would say, even before you write down all your debts, is to write down your income and write down your expenses and see what that number is.
All right.
Income minus all the expenses. Expenses being all the bills, all the things you pay, whether it's tuition, credit cards, rent, groceries, classes, subscriptions, all that stuff. Write it down. And you can look at your prior statements, bank statements, to see where you are with that. If you use it, because some people, they
now, would you just list everything that you spend, or would you try to like categorize it?
I would list. I mean, like, to start out, I would just list everything down, because it's probably going to surprise you when you see how much is left over. Like,
how many people you think really do that? And what I mean is, everybody's got a bank account for the most part, so we swipe and we think we know what's happening, but it is a whole different exercise to consciously sit down and like write it down, like really write down, here's what I make, here's what I expect, and this is exactly how I'm spending my every bit of money that I get. It's
a low percentage. I used to do financial coaching, and I wish I had the numbers with me, but it's a very low percentage. Like, some people do it, most people don't.
Why do you think that is?
It's work. Work. And it's an emotional thing. A lot of us weren't taught. See, I was taught.
I feel like we're taught more to prioritize the front part.
The income
part.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's almost like, depending on how you was raised or whatever, like, a lot of people don't get the message to look at them together. Your message is either, you got to go get this money. You know what I'm saying? Let's go get this money. More money, more money, more money. Or you come from a state, family history, whatever the case, where y'all like really had money like that. So it's like, hey, you can't buy nothing. Don't spend nothing. But nobody's really putting the pieces together, because you need both to be worth something. You need both. You need to know how much money is coming in, and then how do I manage it? What do I do with it so I can have worth at the end of the day? That doesn't get there by just stating, okay, I can't do this, I can't do that. That's not true either. You know what I'm saying? Because I realize a lot of people also, if you're always focusing on that mentality of like, I can't do this, I can't do that, I can't do this, I can't do that, this is prohibited, that doesn't breed dreamers. That doesn't breed thinkers. That doesn't breed go-getters. That breeds like managers. You see what I'm saying? That keeps you like, all right, I don't want nothing to happen with my little bag that I have.
Right.
So you actually don't go get a bigger bag. So you kind of need both.
Like, but see, I learned that from you.
Oh, well, tell me about that. Tell me about that. Because, what you learned from me.
Because I was always looking at it like, okay, this is what I have.
Right.
These are my expenses. I got to cut my expenses. I got to.
Got to cut.
Got to do these things. But you said, well, you don't really have an expense problem. You have an income problem. Mm-hmm. You need more income. I fought that thing.
Yeah.
We can make it with this, that, and other, but getting more income is a solution as well.
It is. But
yes,
let's merge them together on real talk, dude. How do you become a dreamer? How do you become somebody that not even is just dreaming, but actually is making your dreams come true and progressing and becoming successful and actually being worth more and more? It's not by just making more money. That don't work. And it's also not just by, here's my bag of what I currently have. Let me hold on to it tight and not do anything with it. None of them get you there. It's like a mix of both. So you got to be making more and holding on to more.
Right. And as you make more, don't start spending more.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Don't get
right.
I just got a promotion, 30 grand. Let me go ahead and get this new car I've been looking at.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, look, don't increase your expenses because
you're making more.
Yeah. Please don't do that.
Nah, the thing is, for example.
Until you're right.
Right. So for example, no. But for example, right? Now back to that $10,000 example. You make $10,000 in a month and you usually spend $9,500 of it, right? So you're worth $500 every month for the most part, without going into your assets and what you earn and all that. Just money coming in, money going out. So $500, right? Okay. What happens if in the next month you make 100,000. That's amazing. But unless if your expenses increase, then you're not going to be worth that 90 grand change from 10,000 to 100,000, because 10,000, I spend 9,500, I'm left with 500. If I make 100,000, but I go spend 99,500, I'm in the exact same boat. The exact same. You see what I'm saying? Here's the thing that's what gets you though. The lifestyle, the experience of what it feels like for that $100,000 person and the $10,000 person is different.
Oh, yeah.
That $100,000 person was eating, top of the line steak one night while this other person was eating frozen dinners. You see what I'm saying? So the person that's eating the frozen dinners, they actually have more appreciation for where they're at than the person who's making even more. Because they're and that's what happens to me. I'm having this amazing experience because of all this money coming in. I'm able to eat this place, go to this place, but I didn't have an appreciation for the worth, what's happening afterwards, that bottom line number. And over time, I can't hand down to my kids my experience. Yeah, I mean, I can tell them some stories and record some stuff. We got our podcast, but I want to be able to hand them down more than the $500. You see what I'm saying? So that's the difference. So yeah, think about this. You're no different than that person making $10,000 if you're making 100, if y'all got the same spending kind of habits. He's making 10,000, 9,500. He says, I'm going to spend that right back out. You're making 100,000, 99,500, you blew back out. Y'all both sitting at the end of the day holding $500 of worth. It's just that one person is going to need a lot more coaching and insight to realize that, because they're making bank. And that money's coming in and they're doing things that the average person can't do, but that doesn't change what their worth is. You know what I'm saying? So we got to start looking at it more of making more money, but also holding on to that money. Finding ways to take that money and let us make more money for us, which is my favorite. You know what I'm saying? That's my favorite. But even then, you've brought in the fact, so we're kind of learned off each other. And I always say that, like, I think I've helped you focus on the let's go get more money, and your focus has always helped me. This is how we can hold on to. Yeah. That's why we dangerous like that. Yeah. But everybody ain't got that in their life. I do.
But I would say that I would like to focus more on it, because I think we have been in the house, and last year, boy, did we blow through some money.
We did.
I had a lot of fun though.
But ain't that funny how everything else contributes to how you use your money? Mm-hmm. It's not just a money conversation.
It's behavioral.
It's a life conversation.
Yeah.
A lot of things. It's so many things that impact how you use your money. You know what I'm saying? Me and you have a good week. We're on the same page. My money, I'm not spending it the same as I do if me and you have a bad week. Because if me and you is having a bad week, that's the week that I'm like, all right, I could go buy a bottle tonight. Do something that I don't usually do. That's the night that I can go buy this pizza, eat it in the car, nobody know. You know what I'm saying? And then until my son gets in the car the next morning, and then he picks up the pizza box, he's like, Daddy, you know what I'm saying? But it gives you like excuses to use your money differently based on how you're feeling all the time. And people got to realize that, like, you could sit down and listen to financial gurus all day, tell you about investing this and do this, and you need to be saving 10% of this and putting it in this account. And like, all of that is great. But you have to like acknowledge the underlying things in life that impact how you make decisions and how you do things. So that's relationships, that's friendships, you know what I mean? That's the job you got, you know what I mean? That's your health, all types of things. If they're not right, they will impact how you're using your money. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So I've learned that too, you know? Switching gears, I'll be worth $1. We are worth $1 now. We're going to be worth even more if y'all start supporting this podcast. You know what I mean? We're going to be worth even more than that. You know what I mean? But switch gears this week. Want to come back to something that I'm proud of. You know what I mean? Talk to my business owners for a little bit. Talk to my risk takers for a little bit. Talk to my people that have ever made a decision to do something and put it in and have to sit back and see if it's working or not. There are sometimes, there's the ups, that you do sit back and you're like, yo, I did that thing and it's working. You know what I mean? So gotta love our podcast because we give you both, good and bad. So I just told y'all about the week that I've been having and the things that's been putting in doubt in me. You know what I'm saying? To say, are you really that dude? Do you really got it? and how we have to look at it objectively and remember where we came from. So we talked about that. But sometimes the beautiful thing happens where you actually do something grand and you put it in and you can sit back and be like, yo, this joint is working. And you can be proud of it. That's where I'm at with this new software that we put in for the business. You know what I mean? And this will be a perfect time before I jump into that. This episode, as always, y'all know it's sponsored by Bass and Accounting. Bass and Accounting sponsors every single Quiet Money episode until y'all start supporting and we start making some money through our show. But look, it's tax season. If you need to get your taxes done, individuals, businesses, don't be him trying to do it on your end. Don't be trying to cut corners and this and that. We're in a period of just like, look, get things right. You know what I mean? That's where we're at. Get things right. Don't cheat your business. Don't cheat yourself. If you want your taxes done by the top EA that I know in the world, that shit's fine too. You got to hit Randy up. You know what I'm saying? She knows everything about taxes, E&O, tax laws, everything that you need to know. And if she don't know at that moment, I promise you she can go find it. And I'm going to be hearing about it at 3:00 in the morning about that one thing she didn't know that she's going to go find because she cares that much about finances and she cares that much about making sure that you guys hold on to your money and that you're getting the right tax benefits. And she brings that to Bass and Accounting. So our episode today is sponsored by Bass and Accounting. Check us out, www.bassandaccounting.com. If you need your taxes done, you need an accountant, you need to make sure that your business is operating optimally, you need advisory services, you just need to get your finances going the right way, both personally and professionally in your business. You need to reach out to Bass and Accounting. We're going to take care of you. You know what I mean? We care. And there's nobody else you want to have to do your taxes. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. You got anything you want to add to that?
I agree.
All right. So look, going into what I was talking about. So last time we reported, we talked about enhancing our business, specifically our tax services, and rolling out some new software and technology to make that happen. And we went live with it. And there was definitely some anxiety with me because now we got, tons of our clients that's getting notifications and things and being pulled into this new process that we just created and tested and that kind of thing. This week, I can tell you that probably the best thing that happened to me this week was happening every single day on my phone. What do I mean by that?
The notifications.
They have tell me about these notifications, yeah. I want you to tell me about these notifications and what they do, yeah.
So every time there's activity in the business, we receive a notification from the software letting us know. So we sent out engagement letters and pretty much invitations inviting people into the system to start the process of getting their taxes done. Well, the system lets us know so-and-so has registered their account. Mm-hmm. So-and-so has signed the engagement letter. So-and-so has made the deposit. Yeah. So-and-so has uploaded things to their tax organizer. So we can see the activity, but we don't have to do anything except for we get to watch it. Yeah.
And hey, I want to add to that because, and I don't know if I'm right or wrong or whatever, because it's a little too early to say, but how quickly the responses started coming in was so uplifting to me. And I haven't been as hands-on on the tax side of our business to see how it usually is, but I've seen enough examples to know what it's like for you guys to bring on a new client, what it's like for you to have to communicate with somebody, what it's like for you to kind of know, where am I in this process right now? Like, what's the status? Are they providing me documents? Are they going to sign this contract? Are they going to pay the deposit invoice?
Go in this system for this system for that. Let me tell you, I can take on a lot more clients now.
Beautiful.
Because all of that stuff that the AI is doing, we, the tax team, used to have to do it manually and write notes. We're waiting on this. And then the client messages me through the system. So I get notification. I can respond immediately, which I have been doing. So one of the clients, they sent me an email and I just rerouted them to the system, which is great too, because it's security. Yeah. So it's not just the client experience, but now everything is securely communicated through the portal. Yeah.
None in our emails, nothing like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And we did that.
We did.
What I mean? And
I found the system. You implemented it.
Hey, but that's the teamwork. You feel me? Now, the thing, as we mentioned before, and that's why it's important, that advice you gave me this morning of not forgetting where you come from and all of these experiences that you go through, they're for a reason. You know what I'm saying? So yes, we're celebrating this new system. It's working. We're getting these notifications. It's just been really good this week. You know what I'm saying? But I don't get here without the journey. We don't get here without the processes that we used to have that were manual, that weren't working, that were causing us challenges. We had to go through that. We had to learn from those things. You see what I'm saying? And I say that because I credit being able to implement this as quickly as I did to having the expertise and knowledge from you and being in my business on like what things we needed to change. You see what I'm saying? You can't go to something without the requirements. So like if you're there in your life and you're having a tough situation in your relationship, you're having tough things happen in your business and you're getting discouraged, don't get discouraged. You're learning. You're getting knowledge. You're getting the source and the ingredients for that new thing that you're about to make in a couple of months that you can't even see. I didn't know we was about to implement this software, and we were sitting there doing free consultations and people were talking to us for an hour, getting all types of advice and never hearing from them again. I didn't know that was going to teach me what my consultations need to look like, what they need to include, what they shouldn't include. They taught me that. So now we are no longer going to give away this EA advice for free because it's not free worthy advice. And that's okay. And you also taught, man, this is the episode of You Taught Me. But guess what? Free is free. How many things do you value in life that you get for free? Not many. I got my kids for free. I value them. But everything has a cost. And for the most part, the more valuable things have higher cost. But we live in this environment where, especially our people, like let's keep it real, where as our value goes up, our cost can go up with it. But that's not life.
Well, look, that software wasn't free.
No, but
I would say that to tie back into what we were talking about, how we spend our money, based in accounting is debt free as well.
Ooh.
So that software was cash money.
That's what I'm saying. How many people could say that?
Thousands of dollars.
How many people could say
money.
That? But it's building blocks.
Right.
So guess what? And I'm glad that it's working. But what we've done is we take a risk and it's all sitting with us. There's nobody sitting here that's invested in us where now we're going to go make more profits out of this. And like, nah, this is all us. This is all us. We bought it. We didn't borrow it. We didn't get a loan for it. You know what I'm saying? We bought it. It's ours.
I like that.
It's ours. It don't belong to nobody but us. And that's a beautiful thing because more and more in our life, we can really say that these things that we have are ours. You see what I'm saying? A lot of people can't say that. You're driving a car that's not yours yet, but the experience is yours. That's what most of the time they're selling you on, an experience. And most of the time, while you're having that experience, you got to go pay for another experience without ever earning anything that you had in the first experience you had. You never earn anything. You realize that?
Yeah.
Like the world that you're set up in, if you don't make a difference out there, all you're here doing is spending money to go on a ride. That's it. You're just going on a ride like a roller coaster. Think about it, y'all.
I just had a thought.
Not good.
Like when you look at our life and where we are, it's a true reflection of where we are. Like not where we want to be, you know, but it's exactly like if you look at our cars, you look at our home, like, I don't know. It's where we are. We're not pretending to be something that we're not.
Everything is there.
Yeah. We own everything.
Yeah, even that 2012 Toyota.
The 2012 and the 2010 one.
And the 2010. and look, the 2012, I don't know if I told you, but the 2012, it's got some missing rubber insulation in the back trunk. So the car, when you're driving it, it sounds like it's whistling because it's air that's getting in the car. So during the winter time, it's been tough because, you know, you're cranking the heat, but you got Arctic air just coming in through the trunk. So if you sit, you cold in there.
Don't let it be a cold winter. Don't let it be a cold winter. But I also want to say this too, because as good as it feels to be debt free, sometimes I do think about we might have to go back into debt.
Why? Because that's being real too.
That's being real. See, people will make it seem like we got it all together
but we
all
can.
that stuff. But in all actuality, like to buy another car, I ain't got it.
You ain't got it.
Not liquid.
Right. Nah. Let's say you want that Benz truck. Somebody's out there driving that same Benz truck right now that don't make the money we make at all, but they got it.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? But here's my question. How does that make you feel sometimes where you look around and it's like, think about it, like driving a nice car would be nice. Having a bigger house would be nice. We're making certain decisions to really live where we can afford based on the money we have, etc. Right? But do you never look around and be like, man, I wish I could just drop this 2012 truck and go get me a Mercedes and get me some debt because I deserve it. You know what I'm saying? I got businesses. I'm making money. Why am I driving this freaking car where I can't put the window down more than halfway?
You messed that window.
Hey, hold on. Talking about the 2012 Toyota. It's snowing outside.
No, right? It's yours is 2012.
Oh, yours is 2010. Look. Listen, y'all. Ran that 2010 Toyota truck. Had one rule pretty much. If you drive it, don't put the passenger window down.
Hold on, let me say this. Pay cash for that truck.
Pay cash. Pay cash. and the devil tempted us right towards the end because right when we was going to buy it, right in the garage next to us, we could see it right through the door. It was like this $60,000 new car that was just sitting there. That was like
a Lexus truck.
It was like a Lexus truck, and both decisions. And here's the thing: both decisions were possible. We could have been saying, "Let's get that Lexus truck. We got enough money. We would have been able to get approved for the note." I'm pretty sure of it.
Yeah,
wouldn't have liked having to pay it every month, but we had both decisions in front of us. What we might want to feel like and look like and represent, and what our incomes would say that we deserve, and what we go through as parents with multiple kids, 4 kids. You know what I mean? We deserve that car that's on the left side of us. We deserve it. That's how we feel. But we look on the right, and that's what we really have. Look how different it is. Look how different it is.
Yeah.
What I feel I deserve and what I can actually afford are 2 different things. How many times do we make the decision on what we actually have? Yeah. Factually.
I know when we drove that truck off the lot, even 2010, as old as it was, when you walk off the lot, when you're driving off the lot, I own this.
Exactly.
Like this is me. This is me right
here. And I'm
here.
never gonna like this one decision I'm making. There's no more connection to.
Right. That's it. And
then
the title came a couple weeks later, and that was it. So that's what kind of worries me too, because I just think about it like, man, I don't have that cash right now to put up to buy another vehicle, but more vehicles are needed. So it's possible. Like, I'll be real, it's possible that a car note could be coming. As good as it feels to be debt free, life happens.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
That's been a good decision for real.
It has. It's been one of the best decisions. But if I do have to get a car note, let me tell you, I'm getting out of that. I'm paying that thing off so quick.
Well, we gonna see.
We'll see.
But I like that because you know what I'm saying. Like, there's so many things that you think about when you're making decisions sometimes, and it's good to share that with people. Like, it's okay. Just like with you, like, should I go to work? Should I go back to work? Like, not everybody goes and starts a business and becomes a top entrepreneur selling things on, you know what I mean? Like, sometimes you're sitting there thinking, this ain't working. Should I go back to work? Am I a failure? Like, we show both sides. You know what I'm saying? We always show both sides because that's the ups and downs of life. That's the realness of it. So even right now, you're so proud to be debt free. We're so happy with the things that it's allowed us to do in our business and things like that. But the real is, on a good day, I drive my car and I wish I weren't driving it. I wish I was driving something else. Aww. Sometimes you might feel like, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes you might feel like, man, I should just go get me that truck. That's human nature. It's okay to feel these type of ways. You know what I'm saying? When I drive my son to soccer training, and it's like, oh, I missed the car that had the TVs in it. It makes you feel a way like, yeah, I did used to give you a better experience than this whistling car. You know what I'm saying? But in the long run, I wasn't really giving him or anybody a better thing because I'm a better person without those things because I couldn't afford them. And that stress is now out of my life. You know what I mean? And outside of my nickel and dime spending, that's the only thing with money we pretty much argue on. You know what I'm saying?
Explain the nickel and dime spending for those
who
don't know.
I do frequent trips to 7-Eleven, gas station, stuff she wouldn't expect.
Every time he stops.
Snacks and all that.
Every time he stops,
$8,
he can never stop. First of all, you don't even fill up the tank. It's multiple stops.
That's a habit. That's a habit, though.
At the gas, just fill up the tank. That will probably cut the spending right there. At least some. But nah, he doesn't fill up the tank. And he can't just go to the gas station to get gas. He got to go in the gas station, got to get a soda, got to get candy. So basically, these costs add up. Nickel and diamond.
They do. And
drives me crazy.
They do.
Can you see the passion? Can you hear it in my voice? But you know, you have gotten better because when we first got married, y'all, and we joined the finances, I would be crying because I had never seen so much activity in a bank account. I'm like, oh my!
Hey, you know what?
Yeah, you can spend some money.
All right, let's not jump.
Okay, sorry.
We having a good one. We having a good one.
I'll be getting upset all over.
That's so good. But look. Couples out there, relationship, boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, whatever. You listen to our podcast. Is your partner different than you? Like, don't listen to us and not benefit from the wisdom and value we bring of like people that know how to make money, but also hold on to it. And we were both on different opposite ends of the spectrum. So how do you deal with your husband that is the one always swiping the account and not being accountable for the things that he said he was going to do? How do you deal with that wife that's always complaining about $5 swipes and you make 150 grand and you're like, sweetheart, why are you even asking me about the fact that I bought this soda today? You don't have the right. You know what I'm saying? How do you break damn barriers down? How do you sit there and work through it? But think about that. When you roll over and look at your husband tonight, look at your boy. That's the guy that's swiping the account. You know what I'm saying? Let's be real. Like when you're sitting there looking at your wife, she's looking all fine or whatever. That's the one that you know is every time you spend a little money. You know what I mean? How do you get through that? You got to work through it. Come listen to our podcast. We're bendy. We go through that. We figured out things that work. Don't find yourself 10 years later divorced because you're tired of Earl swiping the account all the time and y'all was supposed to be starting a business and it never got off the ground. And one person's thinking it's because Earl wouldn't stop swiping and the other person's thinking it's because Sally wouldn't stop bothering me. She wouldn't stop pushing me. She wouldn't respect me as a man. She wouldn't respect all this money I'm making. She wouldn't respect all this sacrifice I'm making. Y'all ain't connected yet. Because the truth is, you're laughing. Chill, I'm trying to get some game.
I know.
The truth is, y'all was sitting there needing each other and not benefiting from each other. And that happens all the time. We're going to talk about that more in the next podcast.
Yeah. And
man.
It's not something that happens overnight. It took us 5 years.
It's not.
5 years of marriage.
5 years.
Get to a spot.
You got to break this down even more for him.
We can get to a spot and say, all right.
Yes. We can advise some of you couples out there on finances a little bit more, but we're not just jumping into the put $5 here, $10 there, don't buy a coffee, see how much money you save. Like, all right, cool. But like life, navigating life with that partner that don't look at finances the same way as you, don't treat them the same way as you, didn't have the same upbringing as you, didn't come from a family where you didn't have. What happens if your husband is somebody whose family always had? They always bought them the soda from the gas station after school. They're going to come do that when they marry you. But maybe you're like Randy, you know what I'm saying? We getting clear here, but maybe you're like Randy where that weren't part of your upbringing, man. Y'all weren't going to the gas station every day after school buying sodas and stuff. The money wasn't there. So that even has more organic frustration because you come from a history of like, money is valuable. We need to hold on to this. It's a scarcity of this. We don't have as much of it as we may want. How do you deal with that person that has never had that exposure or appreciation for money? That person that's been a little spoiled. That person that's always gotten little gifts and snacks after school. You're not bad people, but you're different people. But here's the thing. You're different people that's come together that's trying to have the same goals. It takes so much work for you to become true partners to go and get these goals together. And it's definitely a process. And if you want to learn about that process, you got to make sure you subscribe to our podcast, Quiet Money Podcast, Apple Podcast, Spotify. We everywhere. TikTok, Instagram. We everywhere, giving the ups and downs of life and real experiences and knowledge that you guys could benefit from. And I don't know if it will be the next pod, but it's going to be one real soon where we really chop it up on some of the things that were done to get better. Not best, but to get better at respecting each other's journey, respecting how each of us look at things, how we feel about things, which is way different, but coming together. And it will require you to change some. I hate to say it, you know what I'm saying? But becoming a true team Becoming a team is what it's all about. That person that's next to you that you love, your wife, your girlfriend, they're not your enemy. They actually got your back, but they're different than you, and you're different than them. And you got to learn how to put those differences individually aside, appreciate them, and then figure out what does that mean for you guys as a couple going forward together, right? You know what I'm saying? Anyway, make sure you follow us, man. We love y'all. We appreciate all the support for our show. For the couple people, whoever you are that follow us on TikTok, Instagram, like our videos, I've seen people favoriting some of our stuff. I'm a humble beginners type person. We really appreciate it. We ain't professional podcasters or nothing, but we're people that have been inspired from the people that raised us, that love us, some that are no longer here, that always told us how special we are and what we had to give. And now we're just fearlessly going out there and sharing it. And we're trusting God through the process, right?
Mm-hmm.
Did I leave anything out?
Mm-mm.
All right. Till next time. Peace, y'all. Make sure you follow Quiet Money Podcast on all streaming platforms that have podcasts. Follow us on Instagram. Leave comments on our videos. Let us know what you're going through, ups and downs. We want to hear from you. We engage with you. And we'll see you next time. Peace.